Welcome into NBA Now. I am Tom Downey, and we have you covered on everything going on around the NBA. And I am pleased / also disheartened to report that we are barely 50 subs away from hitting our goal of 318,000. But we're still 50 away. I kind of thought we'd be there by now. Help us get there so I can get a nice little bonus and so producer Jack can feed his cats as well. Hit that big red button and subscribe if you haven't already for the best NBA coverage right here at Chat Sports. The NBA offseason continues to be pretty darn interesting. Some would argue more interesting than the actual regular season. Much has been made about a potential Kevin Durant trade. Now the buzz is on a Donovan Mitchell trade, as the Jazz are listening to offers, and the New York Knicks, by an almost massive margin, have emerged as the favorite to land Mitchell in a trade with Utah. The report, and I'll make note that these reports we're talking about have come out of Utah, so keep that in mind in terms of where the information is coming from. The Jazz allegedly made a massive offer that the Knicks were like, no, we're not going to meet that one. And also make note, a Woj report not that long ago says they aren't talking daily, but they'll revisit again sometime soon. Coming weeks was the phrase. I'm not sure it's going to take weeks to actually take that long to truly revisit. The Knicks made a good counteroffer, but it wasn't what trader Danny Ainge wanted to get. Here's the alleged trade offer, or at least ask, I should say, from the Jazz. Knicks, of course, get Donovan Mitchell in this trade. The Jazz get Quentin Grimes, Immanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, unnamed salary, which is likely Evan Fournier to make that money work out in a trade, and not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 first-round picks. Unbelievably large haul, even factoring in the 5 first-round picks the Jazz got for Rudy Gobert in their deal with Minnesota. So we'll go more in depth on this and the Donovan Mitchell trade situation. But if you were the Knicks, would you do that trade? D for deal, ND for no deal. Let me know how you feel in the comments section. If the Knicks pull off this trade, there are obvious defensive concerns with Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell as your 2 guards up front. I love Mitchell Robinson, the defensive piece at center, but this is not a defensive-loaded team, although, Tom Thibodeau can maximize defense, that I have no doubt. But it would give the Knicks something they haven't had in a very long time, an actual superstar. That is what Donovan Mitchell is. Is he Durant, LeBron? No, of course not. But he is one of the best young players in the NBA and would give the Knicks the star power they've lacked for so long. When was last time they had a guard of Mitchell's caliber? Seriously, is it Stephon Marbury? Do we have to go that far back for that type of even remotely similar guard caliber play? I kind of think so. Now, it appears the Jazz don't want R.J. Barrett because they don't want to pay him big money in the near future. The main guy they've been after is Quentin Grimes, who has been a nice little piece for the Knicks as they've drafted pretty well in the later rounds of the later part of the first round of the NBA draft. Some stats when he was a starter, quote-unquote, 20-plus minutes per game. He fared quite well, and I think he would be the linchpin, the focal point of that trade beyond all of the draft picks that Danny Ainge always seems to find a way to covet. The odds right now per Vegas on where Donovan Mitchell will play this year, the Knicks minus 200. The Heat are plus 400. The Jazz plus 550. Then the Nets and Lakers as deep long shots. It's probably one of those first 3 teams, and the Knicks are minus 200. That's a shockingly low figure for a favorite team. That means that everyone thinks he's going to the Knicks. So do you think that will happen? Will the Knicks end up trading for Donovan Mitchell? Y for yes, N for no. I'm going to make this question the pinned comments on today's video. If the ad break comes here on YouTube, simply take advantage of it. Head down to the pinned comment, type in your Y for yes or your N for no. More trade talk now, this time around one Myles Turner. As the Indy Star reports, the Pacers trying to sign DeAndre Ayton. Remember, they made the offer sheet. The Suns took like 3 minutes once officially signed to match it. We'll talk about that more in depth in a little bit, by the way. But they think that means that Myles Turner is going to be on the move. He has been the subject of trade rumors for so long. And despite being I think a perfect modern big man, With 1 year left at just $17.5 million on his deal and then an extension due after that, I think there's a very good chance, at minimum by the trade deadline, Myles Turner is playing somewhere other than Indianapolis. Last year, he did miss some time due to injury, but I think Turner's a perfect fit as the modern-day big man. Yes, he's not a Joel Embiid. No one thinks that. But he offers defense, again, almost 3 blocks per game. He can rebound, 7.1 boards, and he can run the floor and stretch the court as well. He's not a superstar, but he's a damn good part of any team's starting lineup as far as I'm concerned. I've always been a bit surprised how often Myles Turner's name has come up in trade conversations. The Pacers right now are entering a rebuilding stage. Maybe it's a shorter tank. Maybe it's a longer one. They've got some key pieces. Benedict Mathurin looked awesome in the Summer League. Tyrese Halliburton is a nice fit for the Pacers. They already moved on from Malcolm Brogdon, mostly for picks, I guess, in the end. They did re-sign Jalen Smith. But in the end, I don't think Turner is going to be much longer for this organization. Curious what they'll be able to get back for him in that eventual trade. And we got a fun question for you guys today. I want you, it's a 2-part ask, so take your time with it. Number 1, shout out your favorite team for me in the comment section. Suns, Heat, Knicks, Pacers, whatever. And name a player you want them to trade for, all in one comment. So it could be like, Suns-Durant, which we'll get to in a little bit. But head down to the comment section and do that for me right now. I'll also make note we are on Rumble. We offer free and uncensored content on that video platform. We've got the sports on Rumble. There are other outlets that do the news, the politics, if you're brave enough, tech, business. We are trying to grow to platforms you guys use. Give us a follow for free. We do NBA Now After Hours, exclusive live segment roughly once a week on Rumble, and it's all free, so there's no reason not to follow us. Rumble.com/NBA Now. That link will be in the comments section, and it will be in the description of today's video. Let's talk DeAndre Ayton. Beyond just the signing, which in case you were not paying attention, the Suns have matched the Pacers offer sheets, and they did that in basically a matter of minutes. There was some buzz of like, oh, the Suns going to match. I don't know. And then Woj was saying, no, their plan is to match. And then Ayton signs it officially, goes to the league, and boom, 3 minutes later, the Suns end up matching it. Pacers do not get him. 4-year, $132.93 million deal. Oh, how I wish I was 7 foot tall and athletic. And Ayton can now not be traded until at least January 15th. That is significant on that front. Now, Ayton's signing does impact a potential Durant trade. More on that momentarily. But I think the Suns have made the right move. I mean, what were you going to do? Lose Ayton for nothing? You could have tried to swing a sign-and trade that would have netted Myles Turner potentially if you were unconvinced about Ayton. But this has been a 17-10 big man. He's not an elite shooter, but I think he offers you enough from that perspective. And he offers pretty solid defense. I think the Suns had no other option but to match the DeAndre Ayton contract. And maybe last year they should have just paid him a little bit more. But what do you think? Were the Suns correct to match the offer? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Head down to the comments section as we discuss the impact of Kevin Durant. Brian Windhorst had this to say about Durant and now, of course, the impact with Ayton since they can't trade him for a few months. I think the position the Suns are taking that they've made their offer for Kevin Durant, and their offer is their offer. And it's not an offer that the Nets are interested in. I'm not even sure the Suns can put together an offer that the Nets would be interested in by themselves. I think this is where other teams are as well. The note there being that at this point it appears a very stagnant market has emerged at this point. Windhorst also, by the way, that said the latest offer from Phoenix didn't include Mikal Bridges. And if you're not including Bridges in your offer for Durant, you're not making a very good offer for Kevin Durant. I mean, that's not going to get it done in any capacity. That your best piece you're moving is Cameron Johnson and some picks, and they apparently didn't use their full allotment of picks either. I think at this point, the likelihood of Durant to the Suns is dwindling. I think the Raptors still make a lot of sense. Frankly, I think there is a very real chance that when it's all said and done, Durant just sticks it out in Brooklyn for one more year. I don't think he's going to end up in Phoenix. All right, beyond the DeAndre Ayton signing news, which we'll hit again briefly, NBA free agency tracker update. It's been fairly quiet, but some actual movement in the last couple of days, beginning with Austin Rivers. He's heading to Minnesota on a one-year, $2.91 million deal to be a bench guard for them. The Milwaukee Bucks have re-signed a key guard/wing in Pat Connaughton. 3 years, $28.5 million deal as the Bucks try to run it back again with Giannis and company. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has re-signed with the Denver Nuggets on a 2-year, $30 million deal to be a 3-and-D guard/wing for that team. Hopefully Jamal Murray, my boy, stays healthy for a year and Denver makes a better postseason push alongside the MVP. The DeAndre Ayton deal again was originally an offer sheet from the Indiana Pacers, 4 years, $32.93 million. The Suns matched it in a matter of minutes. He's sticking in Phoenix at least until January 15th. That is the first moment the Suns have a chance to trade him. Got to stay until then. And then the most recent one, I should say, KZ Okpala, who is leaving the Thunder. He's heading to the Sacramento Kings, a 2-year deal. The details on that one not yet known. He does know head coach Mike Brown fairly well, so some connection on that front. I would expect it's a fairly cheap deal on top of that. If you have not already subscribed, please do so to us here at Chat Sports. We do NBA Now, NFL Daily. We've got you guys covered on all the big 2 major sports here. News, rumors, trades, live shows. We've got you guys covered. Help us get to 318,000 subscribers. If you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe.